So I was recently asked by one of my lovely followers to do a video on female explorers of the polar regions. I've given it a go, despite, may I say, the complete lack of information and images on the subject, which has been hugely disappointing and a real challenge.
Yes!
But here we go. In this video, I want to tell you about the very interesting and intrepid Ingrid Christensen, who was the first woman to set eyes on, fly over, and land on mainland Antarctica. Like certain other successful polar explorers, Ingrid was a Norwegian from a successful ship-owning family. She married a man called Lars Christensen in 1910, who was a ship-owner and a whaling magnate. They went on together to have 6 children. An interesting fact about Lars is that HMS Endurance, Ernest Shackleton's iconic ship, was in fact built originally for Christensen, who wanted to provide Arctic cruises. This didn't work out, so he ended up selling the ship to Shackleton. Despite being a busy mother of 6, Ingrid made 4 trips to the Antarctic alongside her husband. She was considered a natural leader who possessed initiative, humour and fearlessness. According to a contemporary Norwegian magazine article, Ingrid and Lars were united in the undertaking, in thick and thin, in storm and bad weather, in good weather and joys. They were clearly well matched for the adventures they shared together. In 1931, Ingrid sailed with Mathilde Reger, and it was on this trip that they became the first women to see Antarctica. In 1933, Ingrid sailed with Lillemar Rachlew, another Norwegian explorer. On this trip, they could not land, but they took photos and they documented the expedition. In 1933 to 34, Ingrid sailed again and almost circumnavigated the entire Antarctic continent. In 1936, Ingrid made her final trip with her daughter Augusta, Lillemar, and a lady called Solveig Widerhøe. They became known as the Four Ladies, and the underwater Four Ladies Bank in the Antarctic was named after them on this expedition. After this trip, Ingrid flew over Antarctica and became the first woman to see it from the air. In fact, she boldly threw down a Norwegian flag from her plane as she did so. In 1937, Ingrid landed at the Skullin monolith on Antarctica, and this made her the first woman to set foot on the mainland. In fact, there is some controversy over who was the first woman to set foot on Antarctica, and for many years it was believed to be Ingrid's friend Caroline Mikkelsen. But in 1998 and 2002, Australian researchers concluded that Mikkelsen and her party had landed on nearby islands called the Trine Islands, I think that's how it's pronounced. In fact, a marker at the cairn that Caroline Mikkelsen built there can still be seen there today. The belief that Mikkelsen had been the first woman to set foot on Antarctica has possibly overshadowed Ingrid Christensen's achievements, and this could be why there is a lack of written documentation in this regard. Mikkelsen is now regarded as the first woman to set foot on Antarctica, and Ingrid Christensen considered to be the first woman to stand on the Antarctic mainland. Christensen received Norway's knighthood first class, Order of St. Olaf, in 1946, and part of Antarctica is named after her, the Ingrid Christensen Coast in East Antarctica. Ingrid died at the age of 84 in 1976, having lived quite an extraordinary life for a woman of her time. Ingrid Christensen does leave a legacy behind her, even if it is not written about as extensively as we would like. There is a fictionalised book about her called Chasing the Light by Jessie Blackadder, so I would recommend checking that one out if you'd like to delve into this subject a little bit more. I plan to do a few more videos on female polar explorers, so like, subscribe and follow me if you'd like to find out more.